Hello friends, this is Kik, and in today's episode we have one next company showing how the android Eve works as an office assistant. The video generator Sora now has a Chinese competitor, architects of the Burj Khalifa, who have decided to design a kilometer-high skyscraper with a gravity battery. Sony, which will allow games to be purchased in installments. The futuristic electric off-road vehicle Skye, which was shown live, and Starliner reaching the ISS despite engine problems and leaks. All this and much more right now, let's go! Let's start today's episode with the company 1X, supported by OpenAI. So they presented a video where their wheeled robots perform various tasks in the office, responding to voice commands. Halodi Robotics, founded in 2014 in Norway, initially focused on developing universal robots for working alongside humans. In 2019, the company opened a second office in California where they introduced a pre-production version of the humanoid robot named Eve. In 2022, Halodi renamed itself to 1X and began collaborating with OpenAI to integrate robotics and AI. This will help produce robots capable of self-learning. The company is currently training Eve to perform useful tasks in the office. Robots must understand both natural language and physical space to perform real tasks. In March, 1X reported the development of an autonomous model capable of performing multiple tasks, such as unpacking bags, cleaning spilled liquids, and folding shirts. Developers noted that success in one type of task could negatively affect the performance of others. Increasing the number of parameters could solve this problem, but it would also extend training time. Implementing a voice interface allows operators to combine individual tasks into more complex actions, creating entire chains of related tasks. Interestingly, the robots Eve in the presented video are fully controlled by a neural network. The video is shot without using graphics, accelerated shooting, or pre-programmed trajectories. The next step in development will be the integration of models such as GPT-4o, Vila, and Gemini Vision into robots to enhance their functionality and accuracy. The Chinese short video platform Kuaishou has launched an AI service Kling, which creates videos from text descriptions, and it's eerily similar to the popular model Sora from OpenAI. Kling's feature is accurate simulation of the physics of the real world, which is quite challenging for most AI models. In addition to generative functions, Kling is capable of advanced 3D reconstruction of faces and bodies, improving facial expressions and limb movement in videos. Kling supports various aspect ratios and frame types, ensuring high quality and realism. With the emergence of Kling and other Chinese AI video generators like Vidu from Shengshu Technology and Zhipu AI, competition in the field of artificial intelligence is intensifying. It is still unknown whether these models will be available outside of China. And because of this, OpenAI still maintains some advantage in the Western market. And now the American architectural agency Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, which designed the world's tallest skyscraper Burj Khalifa, wants to break its record and build a residential building 1 kilometer high. Moreover, the building will simultaneously serve as a giant battery. Yes, you heard right. The architectural agency will develop stationary and deployable structures for next-generation gravitational energy storage, integrate them into multi-story residential buildings for urban environments and buildings for natural environments. To accommodate cranes lifting blocks, hollow structures from 300 to 1,000 meters high are needed. According to the engineers of Energy Vault, the capacity of such batteries could reach many gigabytes, meaning they could not only power the building itself but also neighboring houses. In addition to concrete blocks, the company offers a new solution for itself, a hydro energy storage. At the top of the skyscraper there is a water reservoir which is pumped through pipes, and when needed it falls from above and rotates a turbine, generating electricity. Although these ideas seem realistic on paper, practical implementation may face a number of serious difficulties, from excessive mass to maintenance issues and overall efficiency. But since the Burj Khalifa is already standing, we think the new project could also become a reality. Let's move on. Callum Company announced the sales of the first electric off-road vehicle with an ambivalent design, Callum Skye. The manufacturer presented a full-scale prototype of the car in a parking lot of a shopping centre in Savile Row, London. This unusual electric car will be sold in a limited edition. Callum Skye is equipped with a pair of electric motors with a total power of 247 horsepower. With such characteristics, the electric car can accelerate from 0 to 100 km/h in less than 4 seconds. In the standard configuration, it will be supplied with a 42 kW battery, providing a range of 273 kilometers. The weight of Skye is 1150. All 4 wheels are equipped with electric drive and high torque for load distribution. Callum intends to release 2 versions of the model, for urban environments and for off-road, depending on the needs of buyers. Callum has contributed to the creation of such cars as the Nissan R390, Ford RS200, Escort Cosworth, Volvo C70, Aston Martin Vanquish, DB7 and DB9, as well as F-Type. The presented Callum Skye will soon enter limited production. Deliveries to the first customers are scheduled for mid-2026 at a price of about $100,000. Meanwhile, designer from Copenhagen, Alexis Shabat, introduced a new version of an electric skateboard without a remote control. Instead, the Liquid skateboard can be connected to a smartphone app. To use the Liquid skateboard, simply push off with your foot. A 350-watt electric motor with belt drive activates the moment a person steps on the pressure sensor in the tail section. The motor automatically adjusts the rotation speed according to movement, reducing or increasing power to compensate for ascents and descents. To brake, simply remove your foot from the sensor and place it on the ground. And to slow down, just move your foot. The base of the Liquid skateboard is made from 7-layer Canadian maple plywood. The skateboard is equipped with a Samsung battery with a capacity of 90 watt, providing a range of up to 12 kilometers. It takes 2 hours to fully charge the battery. Liquid skateboard is protected from moisture and dust to IP65 standard. The weight of the skateboard is 4 kilos. It is now available for pre-order as part of a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter for $369. Meanwhile, Sony has decided to take drastic measures to attract new players to the PlayStation ecosystem. Now, games can be purchased in installments over several months. The service is currently only available in Brazil, but may later appear in other regions. It is quite likely that the company recognizes the expensiveness of its content and thus tries to reduce the financial pressure on its users. For example, the payment for a game costing $60 can be split into 3 payments of $20 each, which is a significant difference. Such measures will be particularly effective for residents of developing countries whose average income often barely exceeds the cost of a couple of games in the PlayStation Store. And online debates are heating up about the new Adobe licensing agreement. According to it, all content from artists in Photoshop, 3D modelers in Substance 3D, and other professionals gains a second owner in the form of Adobe. According to the updated Clause 2.2 of the service terms, Adobe can view user content both manually and automatically, including the application of machine learning methods. It is unclear why Adobe needs this. One version is that the company wants to use user content to train its neural networks. Another contentious point is Clause 4.2, which states that users themselves grant developers a royalty-free sublicense to use, reproduce, publicly display, distribute, modify, create derivative works based on the original material, publicly perform and translate. The third nuance is that without accepting the agreement, the user cannot even uninstall the software from the computer. Meanwhile, those who do not agree with the terms will not be able to use Adobe products. The company has already commented on the situation. According to the director of Substance 3D products, Adobe does not access users' content and does not plan to do so, which is very hard to believe. Now let's rise into the sky. In collaboration with Nepalese airlift 8K Raw and local guides, DJI successfully delivered cargo using a drone to Everest for the first time. The Flycart 30 drone, capable of carrying up to 15 kg of cargo, traveled from the base camp at an altitude of 5,300 meters to Camp 1 at an altitude of 6,000 meters. During the tests, the air temperature ranged from 15 degrees to 5 degrees 6 hours, and the wind speed reached 15 meters per second. The tests also showed that the drone can fly at altitudes up to 6,200 meters. In conditions of thin air and low temperatures, flights become particularly challenging, requiring increased drone performance. The company noted that drones could significantly improve logistics on Everest, facilitate garbage collection, and enhance climate safety. Previously, these tasks were performed by local guides who had to cross the Khumbu Glacier more than 30 times a season, often leading to tragedies. And what kind of kick would it be without space? When Starliner took off on an ULA Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral in Florida last Wednesday, it seemed that 14 years of failures and delays were behind. Even though there was a small but persistent helium leak in one of the engines, the launch went without incident. The Boeing spacecraft with astronauts Wilmore and Williams on board finally reached orbit. Problems returned when the crew began testing the engines before the flight to the ISS. 5 orientation engines responsible for the spacecraft's position in space failed, with helium leaks found in 3 of them. The cause of the engine malfunctions is not fully clear. According to a briefing after the docking, NASA and Boeing specialists stated that the same problem occurred in 2022 during an unmanned test orbital flight of the spacecraft when the engine shut down in the same part of the service module. Starliner will spend at least 8 days docked, although after the briefing, the control center expressed an intention not to rush the return and to thoroughly check all systems. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on high-tech news. Peace to your home.